This river, which flows through the southern city of Basra, is called Shatiladu. It was once the most fertile river in the entire Madhya Pradesh. The crested hills that flowed from this river served as the main road connecting Basra to the city. The hills were the reason for the name of Basra, the Venice of the Madhya Pradesh. Basra was converted into the second most populous city of the region yesterday. The population of Basra is more than 4 million. The vast majority of the oil fields in Basra are in the fields. The only seaport in the region is also located here. So Basra can be called the capital of the region. Basra is the 80% origin of the old capital of the region. The condition of the hills was like this in the rainy season of 2018. The hills were crushed by the rain. The water level was so high that the residents of Basra were hospitalized. Basra is the epicenter of the water crisis in the whole of Iraq. In recent years, the intensity of the water crisis in Iraq has only increased. The rivers that flow through the northern part of Iraq are also called the Death River. But why are the vast rivers of Iraq so deep today? And why is the water crisis in the country so high? We will try to find the answer to all these questions in this episode of Addo Panter. There are two main reasons for the water crisis in Iraq. First, the control of the vast rivers in Iraq is not in their hands. Second, the lack of water resources is also not in the country's hands. The water used in Iraq comes from the Tigris and Euphrates, or the two rivers of Dajla and Forat. Before mixing with the sea, two water sources were created near the Al-Qurna city of Basra. The cities of Iraq are also filled with clean water through Dajla and Forat. In addition, the remaining water of Dajla and Forat is used in the area. Most of the area outside this border is dry desert. In order to ensure the population of the desert area, large-scale dams have been built in various places of the Dajla and Forat rivers in accordance with the water and electricity requirements. The origin of the two rivers of Dajla and Forat is in the Tarashk area. So, 71% of the water used in Iraq comes from the Tarashk. 10% of the water used in Iraq comes from the south-facing travel routes Syria and Iran. That is, 81% of the water used in Iraq is controlled by most of their countries. In the last 50 years since 1970, the Tarashk has built 20 dams in various places of the Forat River and its branch. Among them, this Ataturk Dam is particularly notable. It is ranked 5th in the world's largest dam. Like the Tarashk, more than one dam has been established on the side of the Forat River, each with more stairs. Because of these dams, the water flow of the Iraq-Forat River has increased by 1/4 of its original. The picture is the same in the case of the Dajla River. More than one dam has been built on the side of this river. Among them, the Aliso Dam is the best. In 2018, when the construction of the dam was completed, the water level of the Dajla River was so low that the residents of Baghdad started crossing the river on foot. In the last 30 years, more than 600 dams have been built on the branches of the Dajla River, which are the largest in the world, on the top of the hill. Another representative country is Iran. Due to the combined effect of these dams, the situation of Iraq, which is located between the two rivers, has become very favorable. As the water flow of the river decreases, the water sources of the river, including the well and the water of the river, are becoming more polluted, starting from the end of agriculture. In this, the water of the two rivers has become much more polluted. As the water flow decreases, the salty water of the sea begins to fall on the river surface. As the water level increases, the fish and food of the river begin to die. 3 large-scale wars have been fought in Iraq for the last 3 decades, like a battle on the death. In 1990, Saddam Hussein invaded Kuwait and declared war on the Yugoslavia. Under their leadership, the British aircraft, which started the bomb attack on Iraq without any hesitation, was the target of this attack. The various military bases of Iraq were also targeted, but in general, some of the non-military bases were also destroyed by the explosion. In Bumaraga, Iraq's water supply is 4 times that of the 5 water electricity producing states. As a result, the water supply center is closed due to the shortage of electricity and water. The aircraft carrier is also destroyed by a military evacuation system in Baghdad. As a result of the large-scale attacks, the water of the entire Dajla River has become polluted. According to the UNESCO's report, Iraq was 200 years behind in the war of 1990. The war ended with the accusation of the Iraqis of being a minority. Then the concrete dams of the water supply center and the Avogadamou Dam were closed in Iraq. In 1993, Saddam Hussein himself made the situation in Iraq even worse. The British began to invade the southern water area and destroyed the Iraqis. Saddam built dams in these 2 places of the Dajla and Farad rivers to stop the water supply in the electrically polluted areas. As a result, the route of the 2 rivers changes. In a few years, the water supply of the river is completely destroyed. Thousands of local people die due to water shortage. In fact, there are about 100,000 more people. Even at the beginning of the 21st century, the death toll of water-suffering diseases such as typhoid, cholera, and typhoid was much higher than normal. In 2003, Iraq was attacked for the 2nd time by the United Nations. At the beginning of the war, Saddam Hussein was killed, and a puppet government was established under the leadership of Iraq. In the same war, the water supply of Iraq to the Avogadamou Dam was also severely damaged. In a few months, more than 40% of the people in Iraq had lost their water and drinking facilities. And more than 75% of the people in Iraq were displaced due to the lack of water and drinking facilities. In 2003, the local government established a large project to increase the water and drinking facilities of the people of Iraq. As soon as the project started with the help of the United Nations, the project was recognized by the people of Iraq as a way to provide drinking water to 23.5 million people. The project was to provide 3 times the capacity of water supply. In 2006, the project was not reached by 37 people. After the failure of the project, a large amount of money was lost due to the failure of the strategy. In 2011, when the Jagat Yugoslavia army was not deployed, Iraq was still in a political situation. The fear of the power began to grow in Iraq due to the lack of readiness for the deployment of the Markan army. In the last century, the Islamic State expanded its control over Iraq. Under Saddam Hussein's leadership, they also used the Dajla and Farad rivers under the control of the locals. The ISIS members stopped the water flow through this Ramadi Dam in exchange for new dams. They easily destroyed the government building that was in danger of being flooded. In addition, they poured a large amount of oil into the river near Tikri city to destroy the water and set it on fire. In 2018, the Islamic State of Iraq was forced to stop. But their way of running is still a big obstacle in the way of the country's development. In the end of 2018, the Iraqi government took a construction project worth $100 billion in exchange for the severe water crisis. But in the meantime, in the dry state of the Dajla and Farad rivers, the oil spills in the southern Iraqi city. The oil spills set fire to various government buildings. Many of them know the pressure of the Iraqi Prime Minister. The oil spills from the bus stop seem to be the solution to the water crisis. But the government has increased the cost of the project again and again. In 2006, the government increased the cost of the bus stop by $600 million. In that sense, 13 desalination plants were established. But as per the commission of the Iraqi State Planning Commission, it is not yet possible to start it until 2018. The Iraqi construction bus has come to a dead end due to the lack of water and oil. If the solution to this crisis is not possible soon, it is highly unlikely that the war of the past decade will be stopped for Iraq.